Welcome to Clumber Park. Nestled in the heart of Nottinghamshire, this stunning National Trust estate spans over 3,800 acres of parkland, woodland and lakes. Today we're taking on the classic circular walk around Clumber Lake, a route packed with history, wildlife and breathtaking views. From grand bridges to ancient woodlands and a cathedral in miniature, there's so much to discover. Let's get started. Good morning and welcome to Clumber Park. I'm in the National Trust estate here in the middle of Nottinghamshire, more importantly in the middle of Sherwood Forest, to do another walk. Today it's about a 6-mile walk around the lake here at Clumber Park. It's a circular walk around the lake, taking in a number of points around the estate. Clumber Park itself, created in the 1700s by enclosing part of Sherwood Forest, and it was owned by the Duke of Newcastle. I'm just heading down now to the start, which is down by the information place and the walled gardens. I'm here really early on a Sunday morning, before most of the visitors arrive, so it's really quiet. Laundry yard, the shop and everything is still closed. And over here, that's going through to the stables, which is one of the few parts of the old mansion house here that's still in existence. Looks like the cafe might be open. Normally on this walk I would continue along that road piece, but it looks like there's a Sunday morning park run taking place, so I'm going to venture through the woods by the lake, end up at the same place, but just to get out of the way of the runners and head down this way. Doesn't really make much difference to the overall length of the walk. Might be actually slightly shorter coming this way. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see through the trees though on the GoPro, but the lake is the other side of these trees. I'm currently heading towards the bridge at the bottom end of the lake. Here we are at the bridge. So the lake here at Clumber Park was formed in the 1770s by the damming of the River Poulter. Today it's the home for swans, geese, ducks, heron and kingfisher. And in the distance down there you'll be able to see the chapel that we'll be heading to towards the end of the walk. bridge was built in the 18th century, around the same time that the river here was dammed. In the last few years though, the bridge has been heavily repaired. It was badly damaged probably about 10 years ago now, when joyriders smashed the car into the bridge, causing severe damage. Up to that point it was used as a road. The southern entrance to the park used to come in this way and over the bridge, but sadly that's now closed. I don't think that traffic will ever return to this bridge now, even though it has been repaired. Heading now away from the lake, heading down to the southern lodge, which is the southern boundary of the estate. This part of the walk tends to be a little quieter, most people staying around the lake and the visitor centre. But I have seen quite a few of the park runners come down this way this morning, and there's another one coming down now. So, made it down to the south lodge. This is the gateway that is sadly padlocked, and the footpath is actually at the other side of the gate. I think there is a footpath round just behind me, and loop round, but the lodge itself is just behind the trees. There's no public access, it is private, but it was built in the 18th century, and this was once the southern boundary of the estate, and it was designed to impress visitors. This was one of the entrances leading up to the grand house that sadly is no more, and we'll see the remains later. Legend is that one of the gatekeepers in the 1800s disappeared one winter's night, and supposedly his ghost can be seen on an evening with his lantern flickering in the woods around the south lodge. As it's autumn, one of the things I keep having to do is duck the acorns and the conkers that keep falling from the trees. But the footpath I'm going to take is the one just there, just behind, and it should circle back around onto the main footpath. Footpath passing just out of the estate itself. There's a marker saying the entering Clumber Park National Trust Estate, but the main footpath for this next section runs parallel with the boundary of the estate. We head this way towards Hardwick Village, which is back inside the estate. It was built in the 1800s for the workers on the estate. Yeah, I quite like it coming here this early on the morning when it's quiet, especially for filming. Give it an hour or two and this place will be really busy. Maybe not this section of the walk, but by the lake it's going to be quite busy. Families, dog walkers. It gets really popular in summer, and yeah, not quite as good for videoing, as you're trying to stop kids and that getting in the background and avoiding large groups and the noise. But at this time on a Sunday morning, it's just gone 9 o'clock I think, Yeah, in the autumn it's quite peaceful, and if I look ahead, quite solitary, which I don't mind. This footpath along the edge is going on quite a way. I've not seen anyone for a while. What I can hear, as well as the birds, is just a little distance to my right is the main road that I came up on my way to Clumber this morning. It's somewhere through the tree line in the distance. It's quite a busy road. And eventually I'm coming back into the Clumber Park estate. And so far I've done about 3.5 miles, so well over halfway now. And it'll not be too much further before see the lake again, heading down to Hardwick Village. But we passed through at the northern end of the lake, the opposite end of the lake to where I was about half an hour ago by the bridge. The lake itself is about 2 miles long, so get a rough idea of how far you walk on this section of the walk. And another former entrance to the estate, quite popular with walkers who don't want to pay the entrance fee, tend to park up there and then walk in. There's the old kiosk there, but yeah, this is no longer used, unfortunately. I don't know if at busy times they open it up again, but yeah, there's the barrier, looks quite permanent, blocking the way. Continuing on, and about to come out of the wooded section of the walk as we head down towards the lake. If you look all over the floor, see the conkers. Every so often there is one falls, you have to duck. We've come out from the shade of the trees. What you can't see there in the slight valley is the river that feeds into the lake, and just in front of us there is Hardwick Village. And as we come round the corner we should be able to see the lake again. We drop down to the weir. Here we go. I must say it's starting to come out warm today now. It was a little overcast this morning when I first set off from home, but the weather's really picked up. We've got some autumn sunshine. Here we have Hardwick footbridge and ford. The last time I was here it was bone dry and you could walk through across the ford, but not today. And to the left it's a weir. Can't really see much with the reeds. And just over there, probably won't be able to make it out on camera, there is a heron. There's a few ducks in the water. There's a heron just perched on one of the trees, and we've got a number of swans, mallards and other varieties of duck. What I haven't seen yet is any Canada geese. Usually in summer the place is absolutely crawling with them. And in the village you've got a mixture of old farm buildings, storage and accommodation for those working on the estate. And we cut back through the village, the edge of the village, back to the lake. I think this will be busier now, more popular, back on the main walking footpath around the lake. And back there's a brew stop, but I've got my own drinks with me, and quite a few park benches and things to sit on. And we're about to enter the pleasure grounds. These are the wooded area closest to where the actual mansion house was. This is the last leg of the walk. Probably about half a mile left. This is probably the busiest part of the walk, close to the walled gardens and the chapel, and it's the most popular part of the estate. And here we have, as we come to the end of the walk, Chapel of St Mary the Virgin, built in the late 19th century by the 7th Duke of Newcastle. And it looks out onto the lake. And here we are back at the start. And this is where Mansion House used to be. The steps would be leading up to the entrance to the house, which was destroyed in 1938 by fire, but at that point it was more or less derelict. wasn't really being lived in. Shortly after World War II, the estate was taken over by the government, and it was used as a munitions storage facility. The stone flags here represent some of the walls of the original house. The only bit that's left is where today's cafeteria is, where I'm going to get a drink and end today's walk. Hope you've enjoyed it. It's been a nice Sunday morning. Hope to see you again here next time.